Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. This is my fourth video on refrigeration plant which is there on board ship. Till now, in my previous videos, we have studied about reverse Carnot cycle, the ideal vapor compression cycle and the actual cycle which is in use. Then we have seen the line diagram of the plant which is there on board ship, and in the last video we have seen the auto start, stop and defrost cycle. Now in this video we'll see how the charging of refrigerant is done into the system. So friends, before I begin with the video, do subscribe to my channel and keep learning. Now let's see the charging procedure. So this is the plant which is there on board ship, and the line diagram which we have already discussed in my previous videos. So these are the two systems which are provided. One for this is system 1, this is system 2. So we'll charge the system which have less refrigerant, and other system is isolated. So the first step in charging is to pump down the refrigerant into the condenser. So let's see how we pump down the refrigerant. First we start the cooling medium to the condenser. That is, we need to open these two valves fully so that full water flow is provided to the condenser. Then we close the receiver liquid outlet valve, this valve. Then we start the compressor. This compressor sucks the refrigerant from on in the lower side into, and then puts it into the condenser. The compressor stops automatically as the low pressure cutout switch gets activated. So this is how the full refrigerant is pumped down into condenser. Now after this pump down is done, then we connect this manifold, this wall manifold, into the system for charging. So the high pressure side is connected to the charging wall. This is the charging wall which I have already told you in the last slides, and the middle portion is connected to the charging cylinder, and the low pressure side is connected to the vacuum pump. The discharge of this vacuum pump is connected to a recovery bottle, as we know that we cannot release anything into the atmosphere according to this MARPOL Annex 6 regulation 12. So after this is done, this is the magnified image of the manifold that we have already seen. Like over here the vacuum pump is connected, over this line is connected to the refrigerant bottle, and this is connected to the liquid charging connection of the refrigeration plant. So the next step is to remove the air from this pipe and this pipe, so that while charging air does not enter into the system. So for that we need to open this wall and this wall. So removing air from the pipe is important, because presence of moisture in the air in the system may lead to formation of acidic sludge in the oil and may cause restriction on various places like expansion valve and compressor coils, leading to reducing overall cooling effect. And these non-condensable gases takes up space in condenser and also limits the amount of liquid refrigerant, leading to reducing again the cooling capacity of the condenser. So this removing air from these two pipes is very important. Now after these two walls are open, we have to start the vacuum pump. So this will remove the air from the pipes. So once vacuum is reached, we need to close the wall of the vacuum pump connection, like this wall, after the vacuum is reached, we have to close this valve. So in that case, this pipe and this both pipe and this compartment, these pipes will still remain in vacuum. So we have to keep this system idle for 5 minutes to check if there is no pressure drop. So this will ensure that the piping, the connections which I have made, there is no leak through joints, through the connections. Now we open the main wall in the charging cylinder. This will set the line for charging. So in that case, we should ensure that this wall to this vacuum pump is shut. We are talking about this wall. This wall we have to open. After opening this wall, the charging circuit will be completed. Sorry. Uh, if we happen to have refrigerant bottle with two walls, as we have seen in the last slide, then there is no need to invert the bottle to get the liquid, because the refrigerant flows through the dip tube, as we can see from this diagram. You can see there is a dip tube. So if two walls are there, one wall is connected to the this vapor space and the other is connected to the liquid space by using this dip tube. So in case of two walls, the walls will be marked in the different colors. One red with the high pressure, the means the liquid side will be marked with red color, and the vapor will be marked with blue color. So in that case, we don't need to invert the bottle for charging. Then after this main wall is open, main wall from the cylinder is open. The other next point is we need to attach the temperature probe to measure the degree of superheat on the compressor suction side, or we can use a temperature gun to keep measuring the temperature. So after this is done, we have to open the liquid charging wall. As we know, this wall, this liquid charging wall, this wall we need to open, and then we need to start the compressor. You must be wondering why we need compressor, because the gas, the charging bottle is already pressurized. So the answer is, the starting compressor is important because the pressure in the higher side of the system may be equal to or higher than the pressure in the charging bottle. So this might not get any flow from the bottle into the refrigeration system. So for that case, we need to start the compressor. So pressure difference is created between the bottle and the system. After the compressor is started, we need to keep measuring the degree of superheat. And if this degree of superheat temperature is going down, then we need to throttle the liquid refrigerant bottle, so that the superheat is maintained on the charging side. Sorry, suction superheat is maintained on the suction side. Otherwise, there are chances of liquid getting into the compressor. uh, after after this, we need to keep eye on the receiver gauge glass to see if the level is increasing. It is important to weight the charging bottle before and after the charging is done, because with the system in present configuration, there is no way of telling whether we have added sufficient refrigerant or not. So weighing the charging cylinder before and after is very important. After desired amount of refrigerant has been added, then we stop the compressor and we lock down the amount of refrigerant charged into ODP record book, which is the requirement for MARPOL Annex 6 Regulation 12. Then after that, we remove the charging connection, and then we open the condenser outlet valve and run the system in normal operation. This condenser outlet valve which we have closed during pump down operation. We should not overfill the system, and then after the system is running normally, then in that case we should ensure that no refrigerant is leaking into the atmosphere, as this will affect the ozone layer. So friends, this is how the refrigerant charging is done on board ship. And it is very important to emphasize on the point that nothing is released into the system. Otherwise, we if uh, in previously we don't need to use this vacuum pump, because by using the cylinder pressure only we can purge the pipes. But now, as we can't release anything into the atmosphere, we have to use vacuum pump to clear those pipes, so that air should not enter into the system. So this point need to be focused while telling it to surveyor, that nothing is released into the atmosphere. So this is how we do charging in refrigeration plant on board ship. Hope you have enjoyed this video, and do subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. So thank you friends, take care, have fun.